So first part of the warm up, we have body weight squats. So you're just gonna sit down in a squat with your feet about hip width apart, as low as you can go with your heels on the ground, trying to think about keeping your chest up. So if you had a logo on the front of your shirt, it would stay facing forward the whole time. Just like that. So we've got. Okay, next up we have the three-way hip. So you're gonna put the band around your ankles. And then you can hold on for this one, or you can add a challenge to balance by not holding on. But you're gonna take your leg straight out in front of you, nice and strong and controlled on the way back. And then you're gonna go out to the side and almost a little bit behind you. So I like to think like 4 o'clock on a clock. So you really feel the outside of your hip working, and then straight back behind you, really feeling your glute muscles working, almost like you're going towards 6 o'clock on a clock. And we have those resisted marches. So this time, the band is gonna go around the arch of your foot. You can hang on or not hang on to add a balance challenge into this one. But you're gonna march your foot up and then switch, keeping it nice and controlled and kind of lowering your leg back down slowly instead of letting it fling towards the ground. And try to keep your trunk pretty much level. So you don't want to see a whole lot of like rocking as you're trying to do this. Trying to stay kind of straight up and down, like that. And then we're gonna do hip circles to work on hip mobility. And so hanging on to something so you don't have to worry about balance, you're gonna think about bringing your hip up and in a full circle. If you're trying to move that joint through its full available range of motion. Like that, on both sides. Okay, and then for your first block of exercises, they're all gonna be on the ground. And so the first one is gonna be glute bridges. And so laying on your back, thinking about engaging your core, like you're pushing your rib cage towards your hip bone, and then squeezing through your glute muscles to lift up, trying to keep yourself kind of in a straight line. And make sure you keep your hips level, so you don't wanna see one drop when you go to lift up. And then next up, we have your straight leg raise. So kind of leaning back on your hands and supporting yourself. You're gonna bend one leg up. The other leg, you're gonna think about lifting straight up and down, nice and controlled. Working on that hip flexor and quad strength. And then the last one you have is that side lying hip abduction. So if you lay on your side, you can support yourself on your elbow or lay all the way flat. You're gonna think about lifting that top hip up towards the ceiling. If you wanna make it harder, you can come up on your knee into kind of a side plank and then do it there. Whatever feels like a medium challenge for you without being too hard. So the second block is all gonna be standing. So the first one is a lateral lunge with a weight. You can pick whatever weight feels good. You can hold 2 at your sides, or you can hold one in front of your chest. So what I'm gonna do, kind of hold it wherever's comfortable just to add a little bit of resistance. You can also use a kettlebell if that feels more comfortable. But stepping out and trying to get into a lunge on that leg, and then coming up and back together. You do all one side and then switch to the other side. Really thinking about kind of pushing into your heel so that you feel your glute working on that side to help you stand back up. Okay, and then this kettlebell weight pass around is gonna challenge core strength and balance. And so start with your feet as close together as you can get them. And you're gonna pass the weight around you, nice and controlled, so you're not flinging it around. Really thinking about engaging your core so that as that weight moves, you're staying pretty solid. You'll go in both directions as it challenges your core in different ways. And then if that feels too easy, you can either pick up the pace, so it's a little bit faster but still controlled, or you can put one foot kind of in front of the other, almost like you're on a balance beam, and do it that way. To kind of make your base support less. The only thing is if you do that, you also have to switch sides so you get both sides evenly. And then The last one for the leg day is going to be a split squat with weight. And so holding weight in both hands, you're going to get into that kind of split squat position. So I always tell people, think skis, not a balance beam. You want your feet kind of offset and wider than kind of hip width apart, forward and backward, and coming straight down, trying to put more weight through your front leg, especially through your heel, to kind of power you up. Start with a smaller range of motion as it feels comfortable, and then as it gets easier, you can either increase the weight you're using, or you can increase the range of motion until you can come all the way down and tap your knee on the ground.